Today we are taking a trip to the Czech Republic. I learned recently that it's apparently better to call it Czechia than the Czech Republic, so for the rest of the video I'll stick to saying that. But why Czechia? If you take a look at this map, you'll notice 3 countries really close to the Austrian border, one of which is Czechia. So, closest place that shows up on this map is Brno. When I say today, I mean tomorrow morning, and by tomorrow morning I mean 5:46. And despite my best efforts to go to bed early and sleep early to not be super exhausted tomorrow, it's already 11. Hopefully I can be asleep in the next 30 to 40 minutes, and then we can wake up at 4:40 to grab the U-Bahn to get to the main train station. Only about an hour-and-a-half train ride away. The nice thing about that is that we can make it a day trip. So if we catch an early train in the morning, explore the city for a few hours, and then come back on the evening train. So we don't have to pack the classic big backpack. So you don't have to worry about getting to a hostel. We don't have to worry about an Airbnb. And instead, we're bringing this little guy. So that saves us a lot of packing. The other nice thing about it is that it's only about a 15 euro round trip ride. And that's with, on the way there, free coffee and water. So I'll take that deal. Knowing me, I'm going to be very dead in the morning. So I'm going to do my best to pack this bag beforehand. By packing, I just mean I'm going to bring my laptop and charger to be able to study on the train. Already pick out the lenses that I want to bring, and because it's not a flight, I don't have to worry about squeezing it into a little bag. So these 2 lenses I typically leave behind. This one, because it's a 135 prime lens, which means it can only shoot at 135 millimeters, which is pretty zoomed in and doesn't give you much versatility in terms of what you can do with it, but it should in turn give you theoretically a sharper image at 135. So it's kind of fun to use. It just only works for certain scenarios, and when I'm limited for space, I usually cut it out. And this one is basically a 80 to 200. It's just that it's massive and extremely heavy. It'll be fun putting them to use because they usually get left behind.
Ladies and gentlemen, please listen to this announcement. Right now we will be going back to being Showboat, and from that station we will be changing train, which means that we will be going to Prague. Our train right now is having delayed 90 minutes. Thank you for understanding. Everybody who is still staying here today, please wait outside. Thank you for understanding.
The train broke down just outside of Vienna. It was supposed to be a 5:39 to 7:10 train ride, and now it's about 8:30, and we are just outside Vienna, only like 20 minutes outside Vienna, at a station called Wien Zuserbrunnen. The guy in charge sort of said the replacement train is supposed to show up in about 20-30 minutes, and then we'll get going again. So we have 20-30 minutes to walk around this area and see if there's anything cool to look at. It's only a couple hours after we're supposed to get here, which leaves us about 8 hours to explore the city. It's pretty comforting knowing I get to go home to my normal bed. 8 hours to capture some photos. I'm trying to get up to this cathedral, but you can see there's no obvious path, so we'll just keep wandering. The other nice thing is I picked up film from a shop here, yeah, Polygraph I think it's called, and the girl gave me some recommendations on where to go, so we're gonna try to go through it. Well, I think I'm hearing my echo as I'm talking here, but a lot of it was like welded off, but there's also other areas that were just completely open. And sitting here thinking about how weird is it that it's just abandoned after so much effort was put into like making something like this. I read that this was the largest stadium in Czechoslovakia apparently. Ooh, there's some spiders here. Perfect timing because that was just us running out of film. Black and white film. Come on. There we go. Always gotta over crank it because I always feel like I haven't done it enough. Even when I clearly have. Ugh, that's a big bug. Alright, 32 shots of Kodak Gold. Oh, it's really warm today. Over there, there's a fence that looks like it's open. And I think that's where the runner and the other people came from. Interesting because over there, a lot of the gates are even like welded shut. Like they added just metal and welded it closed. Whereas here, the gates are just left open. So it's like they tried to stop people from getting in, didn't work, and then they just kind of gave up and let it be. Next is finding a cafe because it is way too warm right now. So, thank you for the recommendation. match our train coming here. I just saw a notification that said our train back to Vienna is 90 minutes delayed. So it turns out we didn't lose any time by being delayed coming here. And the biggest impression is just how gorgeous the buildings are in Brno, honestly, because they're all so colorful. They have really cool architecture. I don't know anything about architecture, but they're really pretty to look at, so that's as far as my evaluation goes. Yeah, so even though the train's 90 minutes delayed, that doesn't mean it can't show up earlier than that 90-minute delay. And I've had it where I've had a train that was supposed to come 33 minutes later, and instead it showed up just 10 minutes later and left early. So even though the app said 33-minute delay, it was only a 10-minute delay. And if you're not on the platform and it leaves without you, that just sucks for you. So maybe it's a bit of paranoia, but I show up just in case. Yes, overall Brno was really beautiful. Again, coming with no expectations, ended up being really cool because I came across that stadium. The churches that we came across were nice, and just walking around the city, the buildings were really beautiful. But yeah, one thing that was kind of strange was I bought 4 things while I was here, and of those things, 2 of the 4, the price ended up being not what it was supposed to be. So in the first case, I got lunch, and the lunch was supposed to be $160, and then I was thinking like, oh, if I had like tips, it should be like $170 or so just to add something. But then it came out to $190, which is a little strange. And I pointed it out and they're like, oh, sorry, oops, accident. I was like, okay, interesting. And then I went to buy this water, and for some reason the lady just buzzed it twice when I was buying it. So it came up, so it just scanned twice and the price was twice what it should have been. And I pointed it out and I was like, this is, I'm only buying 1. And she was like, oh, sorry. She changed it, but a little fishy. 50% is kind of weird odds. But I don't want to make any assumptions. But if you're not from an area, and you're very clearly not from an area because you don't speak Czech, it's probably good to double check what they're charging you before you tap your card or tap your phone on the scanner, because sometimes there's a special tourist tax. So yeah, good to keep in mind. Moth. Of course there's a moth. Back in the apartment, and it does not feel like I've been gone. It does not feel like I left this morning. It feels like I've been gone for 2 or 3 days. It's about 10 p.m. now. So super nice that I get to come back to my own bed. It felt like such a long day, but it was fun. It felt like a long day in the sense of getting to see a lot and do a lot, and yeah, it was really, really nice. And I compare it to days where like I sleep in till like 11 or 12 and then scroll on Instagram for a while and then watch YouTube videos and do nothing, and then all of a sudden the day's over and it feels like nothing happened that day, versus a day like today where it just feels really nice. It feels like I was doing something all day. And what's exciting about this is Czechia is only one of 3 or 4 countries that are pretty trainable from Vienna. I could go east and go to Slovakia, could go south, go to Slovenia, could go east to Hungary as well. And because both my trains were over 2 hours late, I'm pretty sure RegioJet, which is the rail service I went with, gives you your money back or something like that. Or you get some sort of refund when they're over 2 hours late. So basically a free trip to another country. Can't complain. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm gonna shower. Hope you liked the pictures. Hope some turned out well. And I'll see you next time.